is your outlook for 2009?
The economy will be down. There will be major challenges. 2010 is the rebound year. It's a real challenge for many newspapers around the world, but not so much in places like India, China, South Africa, Brazil. Rising economies, rising middle classes, aspirational societies. But in more mature markets, again, I think we've moved beyond the era of sell more, produce more. I think we're needing to have a smarter conversation. Our theme for the year is converting bandwidth, cultural bandwidth, into innovation. And I want to talk more and more about how companies can create a bridge to the digital age. We think right now as an industry that we're creating the digital age. But we're like teenagers. We don't have an idea really where it's going to go. We'll know by the middle of the next decade. What we have to do is create the management processes, get the right people in for whatever scenario unfolds in the next 4 or 5 years. Where is content? Where are the distribution channels? We've got to be ready for a world of all print, all digital, all mobile, or some hybrid. And it's really developing that management foundation that is the key to 2009.
You're traveling a lot across the world, seeing new ideas, new trends, and changing newsrooms in the whole world. Could you tell a few examples of the most interesting ones?
Well, the most interesting ones to me are the ones that are really looking at the issue of relevance, return on investment. You go to Las Últimas Noticias in Chile, and they literally have created a system whereby reporters and editors can see in real time how many people are interacting with their stories. And it's almost breeding a new culture of, no, wait a minute, how do I get my story more read? You never hear reporters and editors talk about that. So they've created a very transparent process. You've got the Daily Telegraph in the United Kingdom that more and more is looking at integrating what they do, and it's transforming their mindsets. I mean, more and more, the issue for me is less about writing more, editing better, marketing more, selling more. It's about coming up with essentially management tricks, management bubbles to bring out innovation in their companies, whether it's the newsroom or whether it's the marketing department.
Who should care the most about this culture change?
Well, I think it begins and ends with the CEO. If the CEO drives the change, it ultimately happens. I would love to say that it's a bottom-up process, it's holistic, but I'm not being serious. It's the CEO usually in conjunction with the editor. It's the guy who signs the checks and the guy who has all the credibility in the company.
National or local newspapers? Where is the future in your opinion?
It's both. National, regional, and local newspapers. I think the economics are in the middle. The economic hard times are in the middle. I think national newspapers have a clear positioning. I think local newspapers have a clear positioning. It's the metropolitan dailies that really are too small to cover the world, but too big to cover their local communities. They're stuck in the middle, and nobody in any market wants to be stuck in the middle. I would suggest to you that editors and journalists in newsrooms have, for the better part of the last century, operated as an island unto themselves, disconnected what's happening in the market, what's happening on the commercial side of the industry. I think building better bridges, building better ties, okay, if not maybe to the commercial side, at least to the market. Try to understand what's happening to the consumer that's being disrupted by technology and no longer consuming big print newspapers throughout the day or one point in the morning. They're consuming information a little bit at a time throughout the day. We've entered the era of the diabetic news consumer, and we've got to adjust our organizations to that new reality.